Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, exploding another atom bomb. As I've been saying, the scriptures are bombs. Thought is pressure. Thought is force. It takes force to move anything. Pressure. Our whole reality is based on pressure. Entire reality, there's no exceptions, right? When you speak, those pressure waves, you hear pressure waves, you breathe pressure, air. The whole environment, our atmosphere is pressure. Weather is pressure. Pressure currents is all pressure. It takes force to move anything. It takes pressure, force to move your arms and legs. That means it's force. It means it's pressure. It does when I move it. When you're dead, that means you have no more thoughts, so nothing will move. At least you can't move it. That's what that is. So we dropped another atom bomb, and this time we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about these vipers. See, and previously I've been talking about demons. I mentioned vipers in passing many times. I said that when the so-called, we were supposed to call free, we was never free. How are we free? When you're out of prison, right? They let you, they don't keep you in, it's okay, you're free and they keep you in the cell, let you walk around the prison. No, they let you out of prison, they give you money to go home. We still here. We still under their control. They tell you if you disobey the laws in the Constitution, you can be put right back in the chains. So you're still in their authority. So you're not free. That's the biggest lie ever told. You're not free. You've never been free since you've been over here. It was free. They would let us go back to our home, right? Gave us transportation to go back to our home and left us alone. Then we'd be a sovereign nation. You know what a sovereign nation means? You're free. It means you can do whatever you want to. You can make your own laws. You decide. We're under their authority, so we're not free. So anybody's telling you a damn lie, they're liars. Okay, so we're going to go in, we're going to talk about these vipers. Okay, what is a viper? Let me make a little alteration here. What is a viper? What and who are vipers? A viper is a spiteful or treacherous person, a venomous snake. They are a people who became bitter towards the Abrahamic covenant. Note that many despise and reject the covenant by killing themselves, committing suicide on their journey here or after arriving here. Many became bitter along the way and cursed the covenant. We see that in the story of with Job's wife, who encouraged Job in all his sufferings to curse the covenant and kill himself. So just curse God and kill yourself. Because he was suffering so bad. She couldn't stand to see him suffer so much, right? But he refused and endured until the completion of the covenant. He went through the whole term. Satan did everything they could to him, but he stuck with it. He was suffering. He said he was suffering, but he didn't deny it. He didn't walk away from it. He said, I'm going to do I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do the whole thing. He went through the whole thing. He kept his part of the bargain, right? Those who, that's why it says, those who endure to the end, those will be the ones that be saved. Those are the ones that receive the promise. That's what we're told. Those who endure to the end. See? They will receive the promise. So are you going to endure to the end? See? Because you got many out trying to get you to break away. FARRKHAN tell you ain't going nowhere. So that makes you despise the covenant. You say, well, I paid all this money for this Lamborghini, and then he tell me I'm not going to get it. Then you start hating people. You start hating the people, the people you bought it from. You get angry. Man, I paid you all this money. Now you're not going to give me my product. I've been through 464 years of suffering and hell. And they tell me I'm not going to get reward for it. And you tell me I deserved it because you don't deserve. You don't deserve to get that Lamborghini. You stole that money anyway. You was a thief. That's what FARRKHAN is telling you. We don't deserve to get it if we were sinful. That's the sealed Bible stuff. That's from Adam's perspective. Sad, brothers and sisters. That liar, he got some bad days coming at him very soon. Let's finish reading it. We see that FARRKHAN, after the messenger's departure, became bitter. He became very bitter. He said it. He was saying, Elijah didn't leave me nothing. That's what he said. Elijah didn't leave me nothing. Leave him something. Leave him nothing. Think about that. See, imagine that. Didn't leave him nothing. That's what he said. He said, look at this picture on the wall. He says, he didn't leave me nothing. Imagine that. That's why Elijah Muhammad said to be his worst hypocrite. Didn't leave me nothing. See, he wasn't concerned about the nation of Islam, the people, because he didn't. Because they destroyed that. And when they destroyed it, they won't tell you. When they destroyed it, they destroyed thousands of people's lives. Because for one, I was totally invested in the nation of Islam. Where I lived at was Nation of Islam property. I worked on an Islam job, Nation of Islam job, right? I financed my car from this Islam bank. I bought my food from the Nation of Islam supermarket. I bought my clothes from the Nation of Islam clothing store. I had no connection with this, the devil saw none. And all that went away when him and Wiles destroyed it all. But see, I wasn't a felon on parole like a lot of brothers and sisters were. They ended up back in prison. He even said a lot went insane. A lot of them ended up homeless, especially pioneers who had invested their whole life in this, and now it's all gone because they turned their back on it, destroyed it, and then they was trying to get all the money because Elijah Muhammad put all the money in the Nation of Islam. The money wasn't in his name. They lied. It wasn't his name. That's why he needed FARRKHAN, because FARRKHAN had what you call standing, was he could go into court and defend the Nation of Islam because he was the top spokesman. But he didn't do that. See, that's why Wiles got control of him. Wiles made him his follower. Wiles was officially out on time. Wiles was officially out on time. He was officially banned from Nation of Islam at the time he took over. How the hell that happened? I was there. How did it happen? See, because we counted FARRKHAN didn't stem from, well, I thought I didn't want to be a bloodbath. You don't want to be a bloodbath? What the hell do you think is all about the truth? All through history, the bloodbath stands for the truth. But he don't want a bloodbath. What the problem? How many said that? The new never got Islam started. He didn't want a bloodbath. So he was going to let the liars take over because he didn't want to stand up. That's what he's saying. He's a coward. He didn't want his blood. He didn't want his blood to be spilled. So he got rid of it, so all was gone. And people just lost everything. He didn't care about them. And then he let Wiles go into court and argue that all the stuff that was in the Nation of Islam name was in the believer's name, didn't belong to him because his father built that all. And so they should get, and he had stands, so there was nobody to contest it because FARRKHAN went along with them because he thought he was going to get a piece of pie. And once they got it, they dissed that little clown, that little punk. They threw his ass in a ditch like a 2-bit hole. That's why he said he had nothing, he was broke. Then he ran and hid in Arizona, so we're trying to get back on the stage to shake his ass with Calypso stuff. Now tell me I'm lying. That's what you're dealing with him. See? So he despised it because he didn't leave me nothing. Leave him nothing. He was in charge of Nation of Islam, but he's a weaker coward. He's weak and he's a coward. See? And he let Wiles take over. Wiles punk him. He used to punk that clown. See? That's why Allah disemboweled his ass. Cowards don't need balls. Got tubes coming out of his ass and everything else. He's sick. Like it was about him. Okay, imagine that. Didn't leave him nothing. Like it was all about him. See? Not the believers. So FARRKHAN is not only a demon, but a snake, because his father's a devil. See? That's a fact. He admits it, but they don't want to come to grips with that. That's why he keeps saying, well, one black of blood make you original. No, it don't. And if your father ain't original, and you ain't. That's biology. That's science. That's genetics. You are what your father is. That's a seed. See? So his father's the devil. And how in the hell you follow the devil? That's why they say, how in the hell can you be deceived by this thing after Elijah Muhammad? After he told you the devil is, he told you all this stuff. He told you, that we've lived on Exodus. That means Aaron would follow after him. It was lying to see. And you deserve what you get. But it said, you better read Exodus again and see what you get. Those that follow FARRKHAN. He got them all wiped out along with himself. So Pharaoh's not only a demon, right, but a snake too. That was the two signs of Moses' right hand, the black and white. Because remember, Moses, right, his hand was black, but he took it out and turned white. So if his hand was already white, then how could there be a sign that just turned white to white? See, so that means his right hand. Who's his right hand? FARRKHAN was Elijah Muhammad's right hand. So he was both white and black. Now we know his mother's black, so his father had to be white. Then the serpent, that was other sign in his right hand, right? That means he's a deceiver, because he was one time he'd be a rod and one time he'd be a serpent. So he was hiding out as a rod, right? Because a rod is something that helps you, right? A helper. A rod is a helper, right? So he was a helper, but then he could be a serpent. You better start understanding these scriptures, brothers and sisters. Understand? And okay, and right hand, the black and white leper, see, that was the two signs of Moses. Moses' right hand, the black and white leper, because not only was white, but was leprous, disease. So Pharaoh, his father's white, but he's diseased. He's no good. He's the son of perdition. I mean, they tell you these things. We just think they're there for nothing. And then the snake, that was pretending to be a rod, Elijah's helper. So he pretended to be his helper. He's a snake all the time. Okay, FARRKHAN, the vipers despise the covenant. They are bitter and spiteful for all the suffering because of the covenant. See, you got, and it's chosen to turn on and exploit and suck their reward from the blood of our people. So in other words, remember Job, Job's children was lost because they gave up on the covenant. See, but Job stuck with it. So our people, some of them, they agreed, but then after all the stuff they got bitter. Man, this is too much, man. I'm tired of waiting, man. I've been going through all this, man. Oh man, I'm tired of this crap. See, they couldn't handle it all the way. You put them in the furnace, right? That's the ones that burn off in the furnace, right? The stuff when you put in the furnace, right? Some stuff can't make it, right? So it burns off. The flaws and stuff, it burns up. Some can make it. The only pure gold can make it all the way, right? So they couldn't make it. Oh man, I'm tired, man. Look what we're going through, man. They beating us up, they raping us. Man, I'm tired, man. This is just too much. See, they became bitter. They became bitter. Angel talks about that because they become bitter. You see, like Lot's wife, right? Became bitter because Lot was a demon. You don't understand that, right? They become bitter. See, and so then when they return bitter, right? Then they say, hell, I'm not waiting for no reward. I'm gonna get my reward now, and I'm gonna get my reward off these other stupid Negroes that's waiting for it. See, I can use them. I can live off of them. And that's exactly what happened. See, that's why it says when we thought we was out of slavery, when they didn't give us anything. They said we was free, wasn't free. But they threw us in a ditch, and I said they threw the demons and the vipers in behind us. That's what I was talking about. See, because the demons, right? We know who they are, master children. Then the vipers, those are the ones that turn against the covenant. They the ones that use us, the preachers, the politicians, all of them. They live off of us. See, they're the vipers. They despise the covenant. See, someone was Elijah Muhammad's followers, but they thought, oh, well, hey, Elijah Muhammad, that's it. We stick with him, and we don't get into the promised land. But when he departed, they became very bitter. Oh, man. And over time, they became extremely bitter. And then they pop up out of nowhere with lies and everything, right? Trying to live off, with all kinds of BS, to live off of you. That's why this message here, we're not asking for anything. We ain't trying to live off of you. We God's, why we need to live off of you guys, and why we need to live off of you. We're not asking for anything here, nothing. You couldn't give me a penny if you wanted to, because you don't know how to even reach me. See, but that's what they want. FARRKHAN been living off you. He hasn't produced anything. He asked me for economic money for 40-some years. He hasn't produced a damn thing, only for himself. $1,000 glasses and these long, beautiful, $2,000 or $3,000 skirts that he likes to wear and carrying on. He had them all over the place, exploiting his sisters. Had an idea of fundraising so he could party all over the place, hang out with the famous, see, stars. And you can't see that. He's not producing anything. And he's trying to get you into Sunnysm. He despises the covenant. He's not telling you. He's telling you to despise the covenant. Because he's telling you you're not going to get your reward. He's going to tell you don't get that Lamborghini. He's the one that's telling you you're not going to get it. That means despise the covenant. Don't you understand that? We spent 464 years to earn that reward. That was the agreement. If we went here and went through the 464 years of suffering, right? That would be the reward. That was the agreement. That's comes a contract. We agreed to do that. See? And so, and as a result, there will be a reward, the promised land, the best part of planet Earth. He tells you that in the lesson. But he says he's not getting anywhere. That means he despises the covenant, right? And so he's taking them, he's trying to, and using Elijah Muhammad's teaching to live off our people. In the meantime, he's just saying he ain't gonna get no reward. See? Because what is he promising you? He ain't promising you nothing. You're not gonna get anything when you die, according to him. Right? See, you're not getting a promised land reward. See, and so he said, well, you're gonna get some 6 days here, and one day we're gonna rule America. One day, long after he's gone, so he won't have to be here to answer for it. They'll be accountable for it, and his family won't be either. Just like Elijah Muhammad's family disappeared. Soon as they got that money, you couldn't find them anywhere. Ishmael and his mother, they were down. Why did he leave the country out in Mexico? Why did he not in Mexico? See. But that's leave you. Because he left. When FARRKHAN leaves, he dead. He ain't going to go nowhere right away because he's going to suffer a severe punishment. He's already got one punishment. Read Balaam. He had 3 punishments. That's the first, like cancer. The next one is universal humiliation, which he's about to suffer. And then he's going to suffer a painful death. But the thing is that he's not leaving you anything. If he was going dead tomorrow, what would the Nation of Islam have? Nothing. Because all the money is his name. You have nothing. All these so-called study groups, they're barely hanging in there right now. He's drying up. They're gone. All these so-called mosques, right? They're gone. Nobody can support them. He hasn't even left you a replacement. He hasn't even left you that. Because he's saying all the so-called ministers are student ministers. They don't know anything. They're student ministers. And everybody knows Ishmael's a dummy. That boy's an idiot. Nobody will follow that guy to brand a building. So you can be on the phone calling, man, FARRKHAN's talking to me on the wheel. You would have nothing. You can't understand that? Once he gone, you would have nothing. That'd be the death knell on the Nation of Islam. It's already bringing devils and everything in there now anyway. It's full of demons anyway. That's the death knell. That's what he's supposed to do. He will leave you nothing. You think it was going, when the Elijah Muhammad departed was over? No, it would be totally dust. But it's not going to happen. See? Because there's an intervention. When Prophet Muhammad takes down false Israel, right? Then the people remark, right? Then they're going to recognize and they're going to dispatch him. Then they're going to listen to his message. See, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's finish reading this. They are bitter as the vipers despise the covenant. They are bitter and spiteful all the suffering because the covenant has chosen to turn on, exploit, and suck the reward for the blood of our people. Those of us who remain faithful, patient, true. The preachers, the pastors, FARRKHAN, some also demons, as in FARRKHAN's case. Beware the vipers. Encourage each other to patience through salats and fasting. Your reward is nigh and well worth the wait. We've already put it, we're at the finish line now. See? But some of us ain't going to make us so bitter. Oh man, that was just too much, I suffered. That's the contract you made. And God's fulfilled his contract. He came here on time like he said he would. He showed up on time like he said he would. And he said Elijah like he said he would. You see him all over the world, right? And they can't touch him. He's flying around all over the world. They can't touch him. They admit that they can't touch him. They can't do anything with him. He got that will and they can't touch it. So he's right here. See? But some of you can't even last a few minutes. So those are the vipers. See? We got the demons. We first have to take care of the demons. Then we have to take care of these vipers. Because they're the ones blocking the light up. That's why I said our people are lost for lack of knowledge. Why? Because these vipers, not just the demons, the vipers, because they stand in the way of this truth. Because they try to rip off our people. They don't want people to hear this. So they lock it, they stand in the way of the sun, and so they'll got people walking around in dark shadows, in darkness. That's why we send the beacons all over the planet, all over America, right? See? But they can't do anything because we're dealing with pressure, and pressure blows away all we can press. So they can keep on, but they're going to be crushed by it. But I just want to make you a prize of what vipers are. They're all around us. They walk around talking about they with Elijah Muhammad. They're trying to wear the FY uniform, right? He puts uniform on anybody. Monkeys, he puts uniform on. Monkeys hate anything now. It's hard to even recognize. You understand? We're going to wear that uniform after you put on swine and devils and Mexicans that call themselves, right? People that call themselves, what? People that put this pin in their original, which is Ishmael homebody that you smoke pot with. You understand? They're vipers. And we have to deal with them. They're jealous, they're spiteful. It says what they are. They're jealous, they're spiteful. See? They're bitter. For all the stuff they figure they suffer. Oh man, my mother had my father, right? And look what they did to me and all this stuff. And then a lot of them hated Elijah Muhammad. He departed. I know, because my wife at the time, her brother was a minister in Peoria. And I went with him down to Louisiana on a flight to look at a merchant marine license, because he had no job anymore. So my father had been a merchant marine, so I said, well, I'll look at it, he's from Louisiana. So I went down there with him because he knew something about it. He had been a merchant marine, at least that's what he told me. On the flight down there, all he did was bad. He was a minister in Peoria for Elijah Muhammad. All he did was bad mouth for Elijah Muhammad. He messed me up, man. I lost everything, and he's responsible me have all these children. I said, how the hell he responsible me all these children? I had everything to do to keep him cutting his throat. I mean, this mess hadn't been going on, I don't think, a month. Or maybe a little more, I don't know, I don't remember, it's a long time ago. And he just bad-mouthing him. He wasn't the only one. They was calling the messenger a liar. FARRKHAN was doing it too. He admits some of it. He was saying the messenger lied. He didn't believe that his fraud was God. I mean, we got the tape saying it. He didn't believe that the messenger was a messenger. He thought they was liars. To me, he loved fraud. He loved the messenger. But he don't believe it was true. I mean, he's called them liars. I love them, they liars. That's what he said. See? He said, Elijah Muhammad, right? If anybody believed him 100% is a fool, he said stuff like that. He was bad-mouthing the messenger big time. Vipers. He's still a viper because he's angry, because he felt he was robbed, because he felt he should have been a star. He thought he should have been a Calypso star. So he messed with Elijah Muhammad, so he missed that. Because that's what he tried to get back to doing when Elijah Muhammad parted. He tried to go back to being a Calypso star and shake his ass on the stage. Can you imagine that? Here he is posed as national spokesman Elijah Muhammad. He's on his stage shaking his ass for Master because he was begging Master to get back on the stage. He's a viper. He's bitter because he feel like he lost his calling, because he should have been a big star, because he liked to hang around with those guys. Play his little stupid violin and carrying on. See? And so they pretend, but look what they're doing. Forget about what they're saying. Listen what they're doing. They ain't doing anything for you. They're taking everything they can from you. And he's now exploiting these sisters. Got him out there fundraising. Elijah Muhammad never did anything like that. I did fundraising. He could party, gallop around the country all over the planet. Understand, brothers, the vipers. They're bitter, right? They're angry. See? They're bitter. They're spiteful. And they hate you. And those of us that's holding on, they hate you even more. Hate you even more. They definitely got to destroy you because you might make it. And now, as time gets closer and closer, start seeing the fulfillment of Elijah Muhammad's talking about, and they see a message of the covenant on the scene. They know who I am. They know, they understand the angel. They can read this. They see it. I've had people tell me that, man, you really got it. You know it. They know it. But they go back doing what they're doing because they threaten me because they know, don't think if you understand that. It's clear enough. They understand that the angel, they see it clearly. But they're spiteful, they're angry, and they know what they've been doing. And most of them don't realize they don't feel like they're going to get any mercy, and they're not. So they write about that. You get the same deal that the vipers get. I mean, that the demons get. But that's what they are. See? So they go back to exploiting our people even more. suck as much blood as they can out of it. They recognize this, but they're vipers. FARRKHAN recognize it. All of them recognize it. They want to make sure you don't recognize it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Those vipers. Just read it carefully, understand it. All right, salam alaikum.